Well, hey folks, welcome back to Good Enough Customs. So, yeah, it's been a minute. Sorry. You know, life. I tell you, here lately, I've been so freaking tired that the thought of coming out here and working is just not something I'm really excited about. So, nothing changing on Steve. Hadn't touched it, hadn't done a damn thing with it. Just been, you know, enjoying weekends. So, we're still not gonna work on Steve today. Don't worry, I'll get back to it here for long. So every fall and every spring, I like to, you know, if the vehicle has a motor and it can run, I like to let it, you know, start up and run. Get a little temperature in the motor, make sure everything's still going good. You know, it's not a whole lot of vehicles right now that are starting and running that don't get, you know, driven very often. You know, Little John, Big John, Harvey Dent, Jackson got him a little car to run around in, so Harvey doesn't really do anything. And the old Daily that you might remember got wrecked around this time last year, maybe I think it was June of last year. Got wrecked up pretty good, kind of a heartbreaking thing. Back in the fall, I started everything, let it run, do all that, check the antifreeze, you know, all the good stuff you do before wintertime. And then this spring, a couple weeks ago, I went out there and fired off everything, got it all running, got everything up to temp. And then I was in the blue truck, the old Daily, and going, it's too nice. This is too nice a truck to just let it sit and rot. And I've been hemming and hawing on what I'm going to do with this thing. And I know I'm going to fix it. I just don't know exactly how I'm going to fix it. So let's run outside and take a look at that real quick. And we'll kind of go over what's going through my head on what I want to do for now. So I'll catch right back up with you. All right, here we are. Pardon the wind. Storms are pushing in today, so I'm gonna try to get some stuff done before the storms get here. But yeah, if you don't remember, this is well, that's kind of what we're left with. Don't worry about the old Pontiac parts. I'm tried to sell this guy, nobody wanted it as is for like 500 bucks. So now I'm just parting it out. So I got a guy coming from the trunk lid here in just a little bit. Sold some parts off the bumper. I'm fixing to list the hood and fenders and the radiator. Radiator's actually surprisingly still good. But anyways, yeah, so this wheel got completely destroyed. There's an edge of it that's completely broke off, and yeah, you can see it right there. Pretty gnarly. Also destroyed this tire, split the sidewall right in two, and we'll go through my little obstacle course back here. And you know, rear end broke loose. The center pin came off the leaf spring. Axle came back, jacked the bed all to hell, and bent that wheel up pretty bad as well. So the other week, whenever I got out here and started saying, it fired right up, ran good. AC still working, everything's still good on the inside. It's pretty much just the bed, the rear axle, and the wheels. So anyways, I ended up getting on Craigslist after I started this thing up and found 4 wheels, you know, same style wheels, the old GM saw blades. Found these guys with pretty decent tread on them. I mean, they're not the best, some of them are a little dry, but they're all in pretty good shape. I figure at least today, if I don't run out of time before the rain gets here, I'm gonna jack the front up, swap that wheel out, because that should be pretty easy. The only problem we got there is the control arms are definitely bent. That's something to deal with another day. And then back here, this is going to be sketchy. Try to figure out how to lift up this rear end and, you know, the back of the truck safely, and reposition this rear end to try to get it on the leaf spring to where it's not, you know, just floating. So that's what I want to do, and then get it over on the asphalt so I can set it on jack stands and try to figure out if the frame's actually bent. It's hard to tell right now, you know, just the way everything's kind of, you know, this bed is so jacked. I mean, it's got a raise in it right over here, so it's hard to tell because this side of the bed's up, you know, and caved in and all that fun stuff. But I mean, it did kiss the back of the cab, so you can see it dented it in pretty good. Maybe a little side profile there, but yeah, it dented it in pretty good. So I don't know if the frame's jacked or what. I've been planning on it being jacked, so I was like, I'll just buy another truck and, you know, hopefully it's got a good bed and I can just swap the cab and the engine and everything. But yeah, that's a lot of work. So anyways, today is going to try to get this guy at least mobile, where I can roll it around the yard, drive it around the yard, get it in the driveway, and then I can start kind of, you know, figuring out what I need to do to this thing, what parts I need to buy. So the leaf spring on this side is definitely jacked up. I want to say it was kind of S-shaped. It's gravel. I'm not going to waller on the ground any more than I have to, but leaf spring is definitely bent all to hell. So if the frame looks good, I'll just order a new spring for it, be good to go, and then I'll just work on finding a bed and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of where we're at. So anyhow, I guess I got a couple other things to do with all this crap. Trying to get stuff set up and done for parts off of this Pontiac, and then I'm going to get to it. Plus I'll have to move a bunch of crap to get back here and figure out how I'm going to lift the rear end of this truck up, you know, quasi safely. I haven't had good luck with you know, the floor jack and blocks of wood. Hadn't been too terribly lucky with that. Ow. Yeah, that was a scary one. That was not fun. So I may end up pulling the engine hoist back here and just trying to get it up that way. I don't know, we'll see. So anyhow, I'm gonna get back to work on the Pontiac crap, and then I'll see y'all whenever I get started on this truck. Oh, all right, thing is teetering on the edge of the jack. Let's do this quick. Hopefully quick, and hopefully without incident. All right, there we go. Good as new-ish. So I would have really liked to have, while I had the wheel off, climb around under there, take a look and see what's going on. But that freaking, you know, running a floor jack on gravel, much less non-compacted gravel, because nothing drives back here, hey, it gets a little sketchy. So that last little lift I did on it slid almost off the jack. I did have a jack stand there, but it was a little guy, so I don't know if he would have taken the weight or not. But anyways, it's on 3 now. We just got to work on that guy, and that guy, that's gonna be fun, because I gotta drop the drive shaft. I gotta figure out how to lift the rear end up. I gotta pull that wheel off. It's a thing. So let me go back here and hem and haw and figure out what in the world I'm gonna do, and I'll turn the camera back on. All right, comfortably up underneath the truck, use that term very loosely, we got to pull the drive shaft right there. Yeah, right there. So we can actually maneuver the rear end around and do things that we need to do there. And while I was under here, oh, let's shift sides. While I was under here, I was like, okay, I don't know if it was completely connected or not. So no, it's definitely not. Luckily that cross member's there, so it saved the drive shaft. But and I also looked just from here, looking at the transfer case output, it looks fine. So it looks like that part's okay. It looks like the drive shaft survived. It did beat up a few heat shields a little bit. You know, I don't know if it beat anything else up. I hadn't been over there to look. As you can kind of tell, it's a snug fit. I am not the smallest person in the world. So let's pull this drive shaft off real quick, and then we can start figuring out how to lift the ass end of this truck up. So all right, I'm gonna work over here on that part. I'm not gonna film it. It's 4 bolts. I mean, you know, whatever. So I'll catch back up with y'all when I go to figuring out how I'm gonna lift the rear of this truck up. All right, drive shaft's out. No big thing there, but went ahead and pulled it out. Taped up my end so my caps don't come off. The U-joint's actually in really good shape. I went ahead, basically put some, I forget what the stuff is. Put stuff on there to keep it from rusting on the yoke, and just threw that little mat over it. So I think what I'm going to do as far as getting this guy off the ground is I went ahead and pulled the jack around. I'm going to lift it up by the rear end. U-bolts are still there, everything's still attached to the leaf springs. So figure lift it up by the rear end. It ain't gonna hurt anything else that's already damaged because it's just beat to hell under there. But jack that up. I remembered that I had these concrete blocks. You know, they're just solid blocks. So brought those guys around, and I'll use 2 of those per jack stand. And I think I'm just gonna put the jack stand on the draw hitch, because that guy's nice and solid. So figure I can do that and get this guy off the ground that way. Hopefully I can get it high enough to where I can actually, you know, droop the rear end, slide, you know, I gotta pull both wheels off, slide it around, get it going. I was hoping I was only gonna have to replace maybe 1 tire. I'm definitely have to replace 2. This tire, it just rubbed the leaf spring up here on the front. Not terrible. Didn't even shave any rubber off. This back tire on the passenger side, I mean, obviously it took a hell of a lick, but I didn't see any obvious holes in the sidewall like I did on that front tire. So I was hoping maybe this tire could be salvageable. And you know, I mean, these things are, I mean, look at that. It's a brand spanking new tire. So once I got it down and started looking at the back of it, it hit, I think, one of the keepers for the leaf springs, one of the bolts out there, and it just put a freaking just gash all the way around the inside of that tire. So yeah, that tire's shot. So if I go back to factory height and all that stuff, then I'll just have to buy 2 BF Goodrich all-terrain KO2s. And I like these tires. They're solid and they look really good on the truck. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Depending on what I have to fix, this thing may be getting lifted. So we'll see. We will see. And then again, I also have the that whole ass Dodge 3/4 ton frame over there. That's roughly the same dimensions. So I mean, solid axle swap, Cummins, maybe. I don't know. I keep trying to think of a good use for those for that Dodge frame I've got over there. It's got Dana 60 axles front and rear, 410. I think they're 410 gears. So I mean, it's a pretty good setup. I didn't pay hardly anything for it, so that's nice. But all right, I'm rambling. Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna get under here, see if I can get this ass end jacked up. So we'll catch back up here shortly. All right, yeah. So you can see there's where the tire was kissing the spring over there. Yeah, definitely hard angle here. This side appears to be okay as far as everything. The shock is a little bound up, but I mean, it should still be fine. Brake line survived over here. Everything's good, you know, considering. This other side though, boy, it took a beating. So yeah, this little guy, wow, it pulled the nut right off of that, unless that's just a threaded hole. I don't know, for honest, you know, to be honest. You can see where that tire got the bed, took this thing for a ride. Let me get under here and get comfortable. It cut my brake line plumb in 2, so I'll have to reset the proportional valve. Collapsed up the exhaust real good right there. It sheared off the bolt that holds the springs together, and the springs are shifted because about right here is the top of where that thing should be. I may end up having to pull this leaf pack off. I don't know, these springs might be all right. You know, leaf springs are made to rebound. The thing I was more concerned with is it looks like it may be up here on this hanger. And I just looked at the other side and I'm not 100% sure, but that looks like it's a little bit more severe of a bend, you know, for the eye. So I don't know, I'll take a good picture of the other side and then come over here and side by side it and see what's going on there. But I mean, if the spring seems to be okay, you know, hell, I may just pull this pack loose, rebuild the pack with a fresh bolt, and you know, be able to just reuse this guy. I mean, the overload spring's falling out. It's only being held in by the U-bolts at this point. I mean, everything seems to be okay-ish, but yeah, boy, it's gonna make it fun to tear this thing apart. God, it's gonna be a nightmare. But yeah, curled up the bottom part of the bed over here. This bed is so freaking jacked up. It is just beat to hell. But anyways, yeah, so I may end up pulling this leaf pack out. I mean, like I said, I'll take a picture up there of that hanger, because it looks like it might be bent a little more than it was, but it may not be. So I'll take a side-by-side, picture of the other side, do a side-by-side comparison of it, see what's going on there. If the leaf pack's good, then yeah, I'll just I'll take it apart and rebuild the leaf pack. Fresh bolt, center bolt. I'm definitely going to need new U-bolts here and on the other side. They're twisted up really bad. This shock mount got ripped. I mean, plumb ripped apart. So I'll have to make a new one. Before I go trying to reposition this, I got to pull the shock off because I'm not going to fight those. These Bilsteins them things got a little bit of rebound to them. So I'll pull that shock loose before I go doing anything else. Trying to realign this. But yeah, I mean, with it sitting like this, hell, I may just work on it back here. All right, I took a picture of the other side and compared it to this. That looks totally fine. I don't see a problem there. So just gonna run it. Let's see, what have I done so far? I put a couple C-clamps on here just to hold the pack together. They're not on there super tight. I'm not trying to compress the pack, nothing like that. I figure once I get this axle out of the way, I got a couple jack stands under here. Once I get this axle out of the way, I'm gonna pull the U-bolts, set the rear end down, and then I can start working on pulling this leaf spring pack off. Back here, I'm probably, because you can't pull the head of the bolts on that side, you can't pull it out. So I'll probably just pull down here on the hanger and pull that out, because I got plenty of room to drop that bolt out over there. So I'll just leave the hanger attached on this guy, and then that guy, hopefully that bolt didn't seized up on that metal, that steel bushing that's in there. That tends to be a problem. There's not a whole lot of room to swing a hammer over here, maybe a little bit, but try to get that out could be a challenge. So yeah, I'm gonna get to it. Keep forgetting this truck came out of California. There's no rust anywhere. All right. Well, let's see. Okay. Slide this guy a little closer to where he needs to live. Whew. Running out of ass. All right. Oh wow, that thing just, yeah, that's what it needed. It's not dead up, but it's pretty close. For reference, here's where my rear U-bolt is. Here's where it was. I mean, that thing was 10 inches back. Good Lord. This thing's like 1 or 2 threads from falling out. How stupid is this? Let's see. Yeah. I mean, it's right there. I am not pulling that drop hitch. Well, I can't pull the drop hitch because that's how the truck's supported. Oh, good Lord. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Always something, I tell you. I mean, I'm on the tapered end. Good grief. Why, GM? Why do you do this? You put your bolts going out to the short side, and then you can't service it for shit. Come on, guys. Jeez. So close, but yet so far. I mean, it is right there. It's on the tapered edge even. I think I'm gonna bend this piece out just a little bit. That might give me enough room to pull this bushing backwards and be able to get it out of there. Just leave the bolt. Maybe the bolt will come out then. I don't know. I hate this whenever GM does this crap. Well, that was way harder than it should have been. But yeah, flared that guy out. Don't worry, he'll straighten up for the most part. Got him out, and I had to wedge this guy up and out at the same time to get him to clear out. But yeah, it's finally loose from the bolt. Shouldn't be this hard. All right, I guess let's move to the front. Yeah, to the front bolt. I mean, the good thing is everything's the same size. Literally, one socket, one wrench gets you pretty much everything. All right, let's not be rusted, please. All right, let me think. Am I going the right way? Yeah. Okay, good. I don't have enough room to use my impact, so that sucks. Well, good news is this bolt is turning super easy, so I'm going to guess it's not rusted to the sleeve. That'll make life a lot better. Okay. Oh God, it's like butter, man. Yeah, screw all this rusty stuff. I'm gonna start buying stuff out of the Southwest. I can't even imagine what you northern fellas do. All right. Leaf spring is loose. Yeah, I guess we're dropping the rear end off now. Pulling the U-bolts. Finish them out. Good thing they're already loose. All right, now that the spring is out of there, I'm gonna jack this rear end up a little bit, put it on a jack stand. That way I can get my jack inside before it starts raining. And I can take the leaf spring inside and work on it inside the shop. So we'll see you in there. All right, I'm back. So funny story. Last week I couldn't figure out why I was so doggone tired, and well, it ended up that this nasty stomach bug that's been running around. I had it, but I hadn't had the bathroom problems yet. So yeah, I was exhausted last week. But anyways, a few days of being sick, and we're good. So so we got the leaf spring in here in the shop. Got it set here. Yeah, that guy probably shouldn't have used. Got my other big C-clamp out to make sure this thing doesn't kill me. But you can see our little pads are, here's our hole, and our pads are all slid over. The overload spring is just kind of out there doing its thing. So I figure what we need to do is tear this guy apart and get a new center bolt in it. Luckily enough, this part number right here, bought it from O'Reilly's. It's like $3. So that is our center pin bolt. I did go ahead and order new U-bolts, and as you can kind of see, these guys are just a little tweaked up. I'm sure that's coming across pretty good, but yeah, they're bent up pretty good. All four of them are that way. So I was going to order some. O'Reilly's had some, but they're Dorman, and I remembered a post that I saw on our C10 Club page. Actually multiple posts from multiple people talking about the Dorman U-bolts that they buy for the OBS Chevys and GMs, that they're not very good, that they just kind of break. So I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to huck the rear end out from underneath this thing again. And, in any way, shape, or form or fashion, don't want to do that again. So, so I went ahead, Rock Auto had the GM official GM part U-bolts. The only problem is they're like $20 a piece. Plus, it ends up being a little over $100 for all four U-bolts. But peace of mind is worth something. So so did do that. But yeah, let's get to taking this thing apart and let's get these leaves separated. Pretty much just going to drop the overload spring off. I think I got to pull the keepers loose. So I'll probably get those guys started working to get those loose, and then we'll start easing the clamps off to let this thing relax out, and then maybe line up our shims or our little, I think those things are just there for keeping them squeaking, little anti-squeak pads or something like that. But we'll get these guys pulled and put back where they belong. Hopefully they're not destroyed. Yeah, if they are destroyed, they may just be kind of ripped or something. We'll flip them around and call it good. But yeah, these guys, get them back where they belong, and get the springs kind of where they need to be, and should be able to put this guy back together. So then we can haul this thing back out to the truck. God almighty, this thing's heavy too. Drag this thing out to the truck and get it bolted back up. So, all right, here we go. All right, went ahead and sprayed a little bit of weasel pea on these guys. Let them start working. God, this thing's heavy. Don't kill me, please. Don't know what size that is. It's all about controlling that spring. I really don't want this thing just going boing. All right, there should be nothing holding this guy together at this point. So, go ahead and start relaxing some of this stuff. Hopefully, gently. I think I can loosen this fella up a little bit. Okay. A little too tight for the fingies. Oh, the whole pack shifted. Okay, hang on. Let's see, that's where he needs to be. That guy's hole is way over here. This guy's hole is way over here. And that's attached to that. Okay. So that is way up there. So it looks like these bottom springs shifted significantly. Okay, no worries. I'll just go ahead and pull pressure all the way off, I suppose. All right, so it is threads go up. So we'll go ahead and start, I guess, getting stuff laid in. So this guy needs to get knocked back. Oh, okay. I was thinking those may have been a little bit tighter than they were. All right, I'm just gonna crank this guy down so I can get this bolt tightened down good. It may have tweaked this spring a little bit, that main spring. It may have got a little tweak in it, but good enough for government work, I suppose. We can deal with it for now. I did not look up torque specs on this. I wonder if I ought to put a little bit of... I'll put a little thread locker on it, just to be on the safe side. Good God, I got that tighter than I thought I did. Ugh. I don't know if this thread locker's any good anymore. This is one of them things you hope to never have to take apart again, you know? Ugh. All right, then just got to cut that excess off. And leaf pack's pretty much put back together. I guess I probably ought to put these back in. Then I guess we'll go slap this big sucker back on the truck and start bolting that axle up. I'm just going to use the old U-bolts for now until the other ones come in. That's a one-to-one swap. Right now it's just about trying to get that rear end lined back up so I can put the drive shaft back in, you know, all that fun stuff. All right, time to move outside. Woohoo! All right, well, here we go. Let's hope for the best here. Definitely need a second body for this, or would make it a ton easier. But we'll figure it out. Close enough to get her in there. Not going to crank anything down just yet. I'm going to wait until I get everything kind of set in place. That way there's a little bit of movement everywhere. And once I get everything kind of set, then we'll go through and tighten everything up. So, that back is going to be a pain, because if you remember, I had to bend out that hanger because the bolt won't come out. So that ought to be a lot of fun getting that in there. All right, let's fight with that next. This ought to be so much fun. I guess I probably ought to drop this rear end down a little bit, but I think my jack stands are all the way down. And I didn't bring my floor jack out with me. And that wasn't smart, Matt. All right, we ain't got my floor jack. Got the rear end lowered. So now we can start this fight, which should be oh so much fun. Wonder if I need to break that guy loose. Loosen up the shackle a little bit. I bet I do. Okay. Now, let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Look at there. We're in, kind of. I gotta get this guy back where he belongs. I didn't bring a small enough thing to get in there. All right. I guess we're gonna beat the tar out of this thing to get it standing upright. And then let the bolt do the rest of the work. Let's see if we can't beat this guy straight. Straight-ish. Can't even get a dang nut on there yet. All right. Ah. That'll do. Good enough for what we're working with here. I think that's the first time this rear end's been where it belongs in about a year. Guess I could have showed y'all that. Don't reckon it matters. Y'all know where it goes anyhow. All right, current situation. We got that guy on there. Everything's loose. We got that guy on there. He's loose. I did slide the rear end up. It grabbed hold. It sat on the saddle on that head of that bolt, so it's kind of where it needs to live now. Got my U-bolt keeper doohickey in here. Got my bent up U-bolts, fixing to put those on with the bottom plate. And just get this guy just cinched down. I'm not going to crank it down, but I'll get her tightened up enough to where, you know, it'll work. Then I guess we'll crank down the leaf spring bolts, get them where they need to be. Now, I was looking at something earlier, and it's a little bit of a concern, and I don't know if it was like this factory. I know on the C10s they have a spot that looks like a bent frame, but it's not. It's a factory bend on the driver's side, kind of around underneath the, kind of where the seat is, I guess. Driver's side frame rail. It kind of pooches out on the bottom. And that guy was for the catalytic converters, so they would fit. And people think, you know, oh God, I got a bent frame. I did too at one point, before I knew about it. But yeah, it's not a bent frame, just, you know, it's a pooched out spot on the frame specifically for that. Anyways, getting sidetracked here. I did, while I was sitting under here, just kind of looking. I don't know if it translates very well to camera, but it's hard to see on the camera. But yeah, the rear part of the passenger frame rail is definitely up a little bit. It's definitely a little higher than it should be. And I was noticing this little pooch right here where the shock mount is. Yeah, you can kind of see it pooching right there. I don't know if that's a factory pooch or if that's supposed to be flat. If that's a factory pooch, great. If it's supposed to be flat, well, there's definitely some frame damage. That may be why the rear end's kind of up a little bit on this side. I don't know. We'll be able to look a little bit better once I get this guy on pavement where I can, you know, waller underneath it and really get a good look at stuff. Right now, it's just, frankly, it's just painful walling around underneath this thing on the rocks. So, all right, let me get these U-bolts on, get this rear end kind of hung on here, and quasi, you know, ready to go. And we'll get the drive shaft in, you know, the whole thing. And we'll try to get this guy started and moved and doing all that. So, all right, here we go. All right, drive shaft is in, done, ready to roll. That shock's hooked up. Everything's tightened up over here. Everything's tightened up over there. That shock, we're not worried about it. But looking from this side, that shock is pretty jacked up. It's not even on the bushing anymore. I think I'm going to have to pull that shock and replace it. That's pretty bad. Actually, that's not even supposed to be that direction. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that whole piece got jacked. I don't remember exactly how that's supposed to look, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't look like that. I think it's supposed to be like that way and almost standing up. So yeah, that's great. Awesome. Fantastic. No worries. That's what we're doing here. Trying to figure out what's broke so we can fix it. Good stuff. All right. I guess next thing to do is put some wheels on this sucker and take her for a spin around the yard, because I'm not going very far with this. All right, let me get all my crap, put some wheels on this guy, and I'll catch up with y'all up top. All right, we got 4 good wheels and tires on the truck. The axle's where it's supposed to be. Let's I guess put it on the ground, maybe, if I get these jack stands out. So what's she doing here? Okay, that jack stand can go, that jack stand can go, and let's get her on the ground. Look at there. I am slightly happy. So truck is sitting kind of where it should be, kind of. Her end's kind of where it should be. Front end's not where it should be, but it's close. Not really, it's a few inches off. But I can make this sucker mobile now. Fantastic. All right, I guess I'm gonna finish cinching down these wheels, these lug nuts, cinch them down now it's on the ground, and then we'll fire her up and drive her around front of the shop. Yeah, let's do that. All right, everything's buttoned up, everything's ready to go, and hook the battery up. Let's see. First it should fire. It was just 2 weeks ago when it last started. This will be the first drive of this thing in almost a year. Hell yeah. Hopefully it drives. Let's find out together. Super happy that this thing fired right up and drove, you know, drove, you know, to the driveway where I can actually kind of, you know, work on it with some sort of level ground. Now, one thing I did notice is this thing is severely leaning to the passenger side. I don't know if it, you know, again, not sure if it translates to camera very well, but yeah, the BF Goodriches that I have are 32 inches tall. These guys are only 30, so that probably has something to do with it. I'm hoping that has something to do with it, but I think I'm gonna swap the driver's front with the passenger rear, put my small tires up front, my bigger tires in the back, and that way, one, my rear differential's not spinning at two different speeds. Two, it'll be a little raked in the, you know, in the front, whatever. At least it's not squatting, so we're not going to go the other way with that. But I'm going to do that, and I think I'm going to give it a bath because it's got mildew and crap growing all over it. And, you know, like I said, it hadn't been touched in like a year. Pretty much the tow truck came, dropped it off back there, and I was so upset that I just washed my hands of it and walked away. So I think I'm going to do that. And then I might get out here and do some other stuff, but I'm not going to film anything else for this video. I'm just going to leave it at that. We got this thing back up and running, got it put back together enough to drive around the yard, and we'll tackle other parts of this in future videos. So anyhow, I do appreciate y'all guys watching, and you know, apologize my cadence as far as uploading videos and doing videos has been lackluster at best. I think it's been about 3.5 months since I posted a video. I'm gonna try to get back in the swing, but again, can't promise anything. Yeah, I do appreciate y'all guys watching and sticking with me. But yeah, if you want to follow me on social media, that information is listed down below. If you like the video, be sure and hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed and you made it this far, why not? Go ahead, subscribe. You know, just helps grow the channel. You know, it's slow growth. I'll eventually get back to where I'm actually working on these things a little bit more regularly. I mean, I haven't touched Steve since we did this center part of the firewall. I hadn't even touched it. So anyhow, I've got the daily. Hopefully that's not too terribly bad to get up and running, mainly because I do need a runner truck. Big John runs pretty good. I can run it around and do stuff, but at 8 miles a gallon, it really kind of sucks. Little John, I still can't drive it till I get that motor swapped out, because that motor is done. I can drive it about 10 minutes before it drops all the oil pressure out of it. So whatever. Anyhow, I'm getting off base again. So again, appreciate y'all guys for watching, and we will talk to y'all guys next time. And just remember, folks, it ain't got to be perfect, just good enough. And the daily's probably just going to be pretty good enough you know, once I get done monkeying with it. So we will see y'all guys next time, and till then, y'all have a good one.